Okay.
Oh wait, you're gonna start now. Okay.
Yeah. Just because again, I don't have that much time. My plan is to quit around 12.
Okay. So yeah, we'll just do some more casual stuff, which I'm fine with.
Like I don't mind giving it a try, but like again, I don't have time and I have to sleep.
Yeah, which is why I'd rather just do more casual stuff.
I mean, like I don't know what you want to do.
Oh, I'll just post random stuff that we could do. Oh, hold on, let me stop that. God damn it. Did you make a room already?
Yeah, it's 5369 as usual.
Did you get your Wii U to connect to your Ethernet?
No, I'm not gonna worry about it. I don't think I'm going to get to a point where I'm really going to actually care about it. But we'll see. Let's see.
Do. Okay, so why are we having Media? Why are you having frame rate issues?
Who knows?
There's something else running. Okay, maybe that'll help. Hopefully that'll help. Okay, I'll start recording.
Sounds good.
So yeah, we're gonna take a break from Daddy Plezioth.
I mean, again, if you want to try it, we can do it.
Now we're gonna take a break. You know what? Let's do that. Let's. Blade Master.
I will say this. Well, I will ask this. What do you want to do with this recording?
With today's?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, there's still a bunch of fights we haven't done.
It's just more of like, generally when you do these like goodbye or like this is the death of a game or whatever and recording it, there's usually topics that we want to talk about the game itself. But maybe
Why this game is amazing.
because I don't even know like how you want to approach this. Do you want to do like nostalgia trips during the hunts, or like what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right, dude. Whatever, man. It's your recording. I don't care. Eat shit for all I care.
Somebody had a bad day today.
Bad day.
There we go.
Why?
Do
Why this one?
fum.
I mean, okay. I wasn't exactly expecting this, but you know.
I mean, he hasn't come back, and we showed off Laggy earlier.
At this point, if you're gonna do this guy, shouldn't we just spend our time just doing Daddy Plesioth?
Well, the reason I'm doing this is, let me pose a question. If the game is on a time limit, and we have a time limit of, playing online, and we spent, 4 hours trying to kill Daddy Plesioth yesterday?
Uh-huh.
Shouldn't we, show off the other parts of the game that, haven't returned in any future game as of this date anyway?
Let me give you that counterpoint. How long do you think this will take?
What, showing off some of the other stuff?
No, how long do you think this quest will take?
I don't know, at most 15 minutes.
But during that time, couldn't you just show off a regular Ivory? And then with that supplemented time, talk about, look at other monsters?
What do you mean?
This is gonna take longer than a regular Ivory.
This is a regular Ivory.
Is this?
I didn't post the event one.
Oh. I thought
Yeah.
this was the event one.
No.
That's why I
Yeah,
brought a
this
light
is-
bowgun. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, this is just regular Ivory. That's why I said maybe 15 minutes at most, if not less. Probably less. Maybe
You know
10.
why it tipped me off?
Why?
You brought a bow. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah. I mean, I want to show him off, but I don't think I'll completely annihilate him.
I disagree.
I guess we'll find out. So here's a fun question.
Yeah.
Why do you think Laggy became so popular? Because I mean, he is top 3 most favorite monsters.
So this is my bias. Probably because this is the most feared monster by a generation that got to enjoy this game.
How's that?
So, let's put into perspective for all the other games before Try. There's not a lot of people who'd go out of their way to pick up this game because it's on a PlayStation. What is it? It's on a PSP.
Oh, you mean anything before this or
Yes,
before
Try. Just anything before Try.
Yeah, you either have to play it on PSP or the PS2.
But when you think about the PS2
Or
and
is
PSP, who bought those?
PS2, a lot of people.
No, I meant what kind of gamers?
PS2, I'd imagine either at the time probably a mix of either shooter people or RPG people.
Right, and this fits neither one of them. like we can call it an RPG, but it's no real. It's not the same RPG. So like this had no fan base. But then when we come back
I
to
mean, yeah,
the Wii, where everybody had it, they had a huge market they could try and pull into. I mean, granted, it's still
isn't the maybe I'm wrong, but isn't the PS2 still the most sold console?
most sold, but it's again the market concentration is, in my opinion, too saturated or not saturated, concentrated with the RPG.
It's too many people wanting to be like, I want to play Final Fantasy,
Right.
or I'm trying to think of other big PS2 games like the new Spyro games or the new Crash games, etc.
Right. So like titles, I wouldn't say they're recognizable. They became recognizable when people got them. But this was not marketed whatsoever to those people whatsoever, in my opinion. Whereas once we got to the Wii, we had a brand new like market. Maybe not the biggest market, but a completely fresh market. So the Wii consisted of people who were either gamers, not gamers, or in betweens, where they consider themselves, they don't consider themselves gamers because they always view themselves in comparison to others, but they play heavily. So like we have a fresh market, and now that this game, now that Capcom tried to market this game, especially with that the Scottish Hunter,
Yeah.
like there's I feel like an appeal because this nobody has any idea what to expect with the Wii. Because it came with everything, family entertainment, as well as like the more serious entertainment with, like, I don't know, Last of Us, or not Last of Us, Last Story, Xenoblade, like the or even like Metroid, like pretty serious. People who want to be a little bit more involved in gaming. So there was a fresh market that didn't know what this game was, had no idea what the Wii was marketed for, except for like family entertainment. So like, why not go for the grab? So that's where this guy comes in, because people don't know what Monster Hunter was like, so they just pick up this game. And the first monster you see is a massive bastard.
Oh yeah, he's technically the first large monster you ever run into.
Yes, because it's the, what is it? The fishing. It's the
the one where you have to get all of the like fins from the like little fish.
Yes. So like you terrified everybody with this. And how do I say it? There's no monster like this. That's just a giant alligator.
He's like an electric alligator.
Like they're most like let's look at all the other Monster Hunter designs, especially like World. Nothing but quadrupedal dragon types. There's so many of those.
So again, like not counting Rathalos, would you say that's also to some degree why Tigrex or Tigrex, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced both ways, and Narga became so popular? Because technically, like, we could say Tri was like a step in the direction of Monster Hunter getting popular, but Freedom Unite was probably the initial one.
I would say Freedom Unite is the one that really solidified where their ground was, where Capcom believed where their ground was. Because, like, let's face it, Monster Hunter 1 really doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's more for the memes at this point.
Yeah, so, like, that's where they were like, well, I don't know. Does this work? And then now Monster Hunter Dose comes out, and it's like, well, we're trying it out. And then Freedom Unite is like, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to crap out a whole bunch of monsters at this point.
Oh, yeah, and I think, you know, it's a weird thing to think about, but Freedom Unite, even though I don't think, you haven't played it, had the same thing as this game with Tigrex, where Tigrex, I don't think he was the first large monster you saw, but he does show up in a quest he's not supposed to be in and be like, haha, got you, Hunter. You know, you're very underprepared. You gotta run away from me.
The Popo tongue.
Yeah.
Quest. I played enough to get to Village High Rank. I fought my Hypnotrix, and that was awful.
But yeah, and then you had Try, which had Laggy. You had Portable Third, where Zenogre showed up early.
So,
was there a quest where Gore showed up early?
Semi. I mean, with oh god, I forgot. I have way too much items. He technically shows up early because you're escorting the rookie after he got blasted.
Oh yeah, and then I guess 4 Ultimate kind of had to start with Darren to kind of throw the player off.
Right. But like,
but the weird thing to me, well, I guess World kind of did, because they were like trying to make it big with Zora. So I was like, did World ever have a moment where you fought Nergi earlier than you were supposed to? Like, did he show up early in the game? I can't remember.
Aside from Zora, I don't.
Or did he show up on Zora during that beginning phase, but you just didn't get to fight him?
What are you talking about? That was like the thing you had to deal with. Zora, you had to repel.
Well, see, I think maybe that's why, is because it was only a repel quest, which is why I don't remember it as well.
Oh.
Because it's like, you know, every other time. Well, actually, no, I take that back, because Laggy you couldn't kill either. But you could kill Zenogre. Could you kill Gore?
I don't think so. Well, you probably could, but I don't think that really goes with the message, because the whole point is to escort the rookie and the captain out. And
well, I mean, yeah, but like even in Generations, like the whole point of whatever quest was to do this, and then a random Bubble Fox shows up, or you know, a random Mammoth shows up.
So there's probably that.
But I don't remember if you could kill Gore in like your first meeting with him in 4.
But I think the whole point is of this entire discussion is when we talk about the monsters that are the flagships or the icons of this game, each and every one of them was unique. Because like when we look at it, like was Tigrex ever a flagship? I don't remember.
Yeah, Tigrex is the flagship of Freedom.
Freedom, okay.
So like he's Laggy.
Because it's like
Bracky is Narga.
Well, let's look at that as an idea. So we go. Well, Rathalos is probably Monster Hunter 1.
Yeah.
And then Freedom is Tigrex.
Yes.
Narga is Freedom Unite. I don't know what Dose is. Probably Diablos.
Dose is Kushala.
Kushala?
Yeah.
Okay, that interesting. And then we get to Try, it's Legiocrus. Then we get to Portable Third, that's
Zenogre.
And unfortunately for most of the Western, this game, 3U is Azure Rathalos, but it doesn't make any sense. So we'll just
we all acknowledge it that it's
Bracky.
Bracky. Technically, like, I think the re-release, so I forget what it was called. I think it was just called Monster Hunter Portable. I always forget this game exists. I think that's when Azure was the flagship. Was the like actual flagship of a Monster Hunter game. So he is technically still a flagship. It's just I don't know why they replastered him on the 3U's cover.
But anyway, we get into 4. 4 was Gore. No. Yeah, 4 was Gore. 4U was Steve. And then when we get to Gen, it was Glavenus. And then GU is Valfalk. But when we look at every single one of those, each one of them have a very, 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 very distinct feature about them. Like
Yeah.
like within the world, within the game that they were pushed out. So if we look at Freedom Unite for the sake of consistency, because I don't know Freedom. Both Tigrex and Narga, design-wise, are wild compared to all the other monsters that they look at, because you don't really have those. What do you call it? Bipedals that how do I say it? They're quadrupedals, but they don't have to care about being a quadrupedal. But like every other monster that we talk about, with the reason why I hate World's design is because they're all quadrupedals at the end, and they have to be quadrupedals. Whereas Narga and Tigrex are quadrupedal when they attack or when they want to run, but they don't have to be. They go on bipeds if they want to. But then they also have wings, which is like on their arms, which is also wild. Whereas every other design in World has been some sort of six-limbed enemy, but they're quadrupedal, and the other two limbs are for wings. Like Nergi. And then if we look at Sharash Valda is kind of like a weird one.
Because like he does technically share like Shigaru and Gore's skeleton.
Yeah. But like again, that's just a repeat from another one. Then we have what is it? Then if we look at all the other ones, Xenojiva and Safijiva are basically the same in that they're quadrupedals, and then they have two limbs for wings. So at some point the design becomes redundant. And Nergi is just the most memorable out of all the games because one, they hypened him up with both lore, design, design, as well as music. But at some point for me, it didn't really matter because it was just another quadrupedal. That had to be quadrupedal. Like you never saw them not be quadrupedal.
Yeah, and I
people
think
will
another,
argue like people will argue it's like, well, what about Zinogre? He's quadrupedal. It's like, yes, but have you seen another wolf out there?
You know, like in the main games, I mean, what was it? Rise, I think, was the most recent, right? Was there any other wolves, not counting Frontier? Because I mean, I wish the 2 Frontier wolves would come into a main game. But am I forgetting anyone besides Lunagaron who's like actually a wolf?
No, I don't think so. There's not really much like those dog type enemies.
I guess there's Otogaron, but he's more of, again, a dog. Well, I mean, wolves are dogs.
No, you know, that still fits the character type. So yeah.
And I do miss Otogaron,
but that's the thing.
Otogaron.
The reason why you miss him is because again, it's such a unique
He stands
design.
out more.
It stands out because he's a dog. Like, it's stupid. Like, people will be like, well, he's not unique because he's a dog. It's like, have you seen all the other ones out there? Technically, Anjanath should
Which is why, like... Oh, finish your thought.
I was just going to say, technically, Anjanath should be a unique design because there's no such thing as, like, straight-up dinosaurs. Except, we fucking have Great Jaggy, which is why it's so boring.
Yeah, and then, like, I think, at least for me, and I think somewhat you, which is why Valhazak is so memorable.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, yeah, he technically falls under the category of it, but he has such a unique mechanic around him of being like a zombie dragon. I forgot hot drinks like a moron.
It's okay, I didn't eat. Apparently.
I have 2 hot drinks.
No, it's okay. What?
Do
I
you
don't have
have
hot
hot
drinks
drinks?
either, dude.
Oh.
I was gonna bring it, but then I forgot. More actually, I kind of just ignored that. I was like, I don't give a shit.
I brought dual blades, which is why it's annoying. Oh well.
So I think it's just the fact that like design-wise, when we go back to your original um, topic of why is Legiocrist so memorable, it's because nobody's ever seen another alligator out there.
Yeah, because I thought of the question because I saw like a post online, like or on Reddit where it was like, oh, what would you rank Legiocrist out of 10? And there was a couple of like higher upvoted things where it was like 11 out of 10. I've never even fought the guy, but
It's because like
he's like
again,
amazing, and I'm just like, huh, interesting.
like it's because when you think about memorable designs, it's the whole point of memorable design is repeatability. Are they is the design caricature of a lot of these enemies repeated? And that becomes a question of whether it's memorable or not. For us, you and I, Trumpet will never be memorable. Aside from
We are like besides the fact that he's only memorable now because he's a meme to us. He's not actually like his design itself isn't quite memorable.
So it's just that. Like I want. I think that's why World to me will never be a great game, because I haven't felt mesmerized by that game. They spent way too much time doing this lore building that I really didn't care about, and I think that's also a that's just me in general. Like I just don't give a shit about the lore. The reason why I like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all that on Monster Hunter in the older games is because lore, sure, it exists if you want to go out of your way to do it, but it's not mandatory to do. But that's also why I don't like I don't like a lot of the modern games either, because they make you try and read the lore, and I genuinely do not care.
Well, I feel like it's weirdly like, I don't know, I don't mind it, but in a weird way, maybe I'm just old man yelling at sky, like shaking his fist at the sky. But I really just like the little quick like info stuff we got from just like the little monster info stuff tabs.
I think it's because like the whole point is this game doesn't insult us. So this is the thing about like writing in general as well. The reason why people hate certain movies, certain books, and stuff like that is because the writers don't insult us on our intelligence. This is something I've heard like a lot of times from other people, where instead of just telling us what's happening, the writer already knows we're intelligent enough to make the decisions ourselves of what they want, but they make us do the work. They make us engage with the story itself. So like, what is it? Like if we look at the ideas of Mulan, I haven't watched it, the new one with the live action.
Most people probably don't.
But from what I've heard, the reason why people don't like the live action Mulan is because there's nothing to engage with. They insult us on our injury by telling us exactly what to think, and it's like, well, why not just show us? Why not just show us that that we should make these instead of just blatantly telling us? This is the problem of every writing like class itself, where it's really, really hard to show us, like to show us what we should know, or what we should see, and it's super easy to tell us what to do, but it's the most inefficient way of doing it. In any case, like a lot of the thing is like it's just another problem of teaching. The fastest way of gaining knowledge is by just dumping it and like shoving it down people's throats. But nobody likes to be forced a whole bunch of information that they have no idea what to do with. So at the end of the day, the resentment for school is simply because we have to look at the most efficient way of getting there, and that's it. But this kind of gets away from the topic we were talking about earlier, which is why designs. What is the whole point of unique designs and lore building, stuff like that? With Monster Hunter and their designs early on, the greatest part is we don't have to be told that to fear them. We know just by looking at them. And so
like
yeah, go on.
instead of just telling us that, like, oh my god, Nergi is, he's like an elder dragon hunter. I actually don't remember Nergi's like first introduction in the world, so maybe he actually did do this, but why not have a mission where it's like, oh, we're sending you out to, hunt Kushala or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then have the same thing happen where it's like you find Kushala, like they're in a set place and like they're already weakened, and you just come in and you see Nergi beating crap out of him. Like nothing is like told to you that Nergi is like, oh my god, he hunts Elder Dragon. You just see it.
You know what's
you
the
see
problem?
this like big spiky boy beating the crap out of something.
You know what's sad about what you just said? That's exactly what that's the reason why Rajang in World is so much more cooler than Nergi.
Well, yeah, because like it's like one of those weird delayed gratifications with Rajang where it was like we always saw in the little notes and stuff that it's like, oh yeah, he eats Kirin, like, or he eats Kirin horns, but we've never actually gotten to see it happen. And then like a lot of people, like, it's funny because a lot of people I've read online are like, World Rajang is so overrated. I'm like, Rajang is so overrated. And I'm just like, but do you remember his like entrance for like a group of new people who have never gotten to see him?
Like, again, this was from the
like Kirin was one of the biggest annoyances for world players.
That's
like,
exactly
across
my point.
The board, and this man walks in and just like beats the crap out of him.
That's exactly what the point of, like, that's, in my opinion, that's probably the greatest part about Iceborne's update, is because people had time, a lot of time, to really understand Kirin and hate him. And then just, Rajang comes in and just bites off the horn.
He just grabs him. Yeah, he grabs him, rips off the horn, and just eats it, and like chucks Kirin aside because he just doesn't care about him.
Even better is on that introduction quest, he like Kirin dies.
Oh, I thought the Kirin like got away.
That's only when you see a turf war. In the actual thing, he dies. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
So that's even more memorable. It's just, you were dealing with Kirin, thinking like, oh, these. I'm pretty sure the quest was like, oh, there's so many lightnings happening. Like, there's something going on, and you're like, oh, it's a Kirin. And then that's when.
Oh, it is a Kirin, but what's that thing?
Yeah, and then Rajang just comes in, literally slaughters the dude, takes off the horn, beats the ass out of Kirin, and then Kirin dies just instantly. Like, you as a hunter, you struggled, you found ways to kill Kirin
you
quickly.
As a new player you got to go through the Kirin suffering that all the past players had to go through.
Yeah, but like, you eventually got used to him, but you didn't kill him that fast. And you see a monkey that just, outright slaughters it. Just, decapitates like the head, like the horn, and then you're just, like, you have to deal with that fact. So I think that's why like monster design and monster storytelling has to be shown that they are terrifying.
Because yeah, we as older players knew about Rajang's like Kirin thing, but anyone who never really looked into the lore of Monster Hunter would have immediately been like, he just ate his horn and went Super Saiyan, and is like, that's there's a connection there.
But that that's why World to me was such a snooze fest, because they always told you how dangerous or how the monsters are gonna be, and it's like you literally just came to this area. How do you know? Like what?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, it's like you just got to the New World. We're learning about the New World, and yet you know about Nergigante. You know about the only one they kind of didn't know about was Shara. Like they like had to pinpoint it and be like, you got to be careful because we really don't know much other than its weird singing, which wasn't even singing.
Instead, he was beatboxing.
Yeah.
But like I think that's why like Safe was, yeah, sure, whatever. He destroys the whole entire world. Like yeah. It's just unelevated. Whereas like I don't know.
Shit.
Like maybe that could be just something that story wise like they wanted to try and implement, and if they're experimental, like go for it.
But again, like, maybe I'm gonna get a comment on this video, but I don't remember Nergi's introduction. Like, I don't remember him beating up any Elder Dragons in the actual game. The only thing I remember him doing is trying to beat up Zora Magdaros, and then Ruiner being a complete wuss and losing to Shara Ishvalda, and then having to wait for us to kill it.
Well, and then once we killed it, like I don't remember if Nergi even like did anything. But
oh no, he did. He just like swooped in like a vulture and was like, "Look what I did! Look how I killed this thing! Look at me!" And then ran off.
That's like I really want to like World, but there's so many things that just makes me so annoyed with the game. And let's face it, I don't care what any of the World people say. Those initial weapon designs, trash. Oh
yeah, the fact that they did like, I mean, even in Iceborne, it was like they did Glavenus dirty, they did Bracky dirty.
But I think that's like, in my opinion, that was like the whole appeal of Monster Hunter, and that's why for a lot of people with, again, relating to your previous question. Why is Lagiacrus so iconic? It's because you could get his weapons and you looked cool with his armor. Like, all the armors are fine. They weren't.
I mean,
they weren't shafted.
Armor
I will say that
it was pretty cool.
But that's the wild thing. It's like, well, okay, cool, but why'd you make the whole point of their like when you look at a person joining the room, you should know exactly what they have equipped. You might not know all the skills that they have, but in general, like when you see them,
I mean, and we're talking pre GU, by the way.
But because you know what they are, where you know exactly what monsters they've hunted. Oh, I'm dead. So it's just, and you know what weapons are out. You might not know the certain variants, like the difference between like a gold rate, like I don't. This is a terrible example, but like a Raytheon lance versus like a Raytheon sword and shield and like a golden Raytheon sword and shield. It's like, really? But there's always like there's always like a reverence in terms of like towards each other, because you know exactly what they've done. You know where they are progressively, and you know how they're doing progressively.
Well, yeah, like specifically in this game, if say like in high rank specifically, again, this is specific for this game, you see someone with like who's, I forget what the HR cap was it like 5 or 6 for high rank in this game?
I think it's. Oh, I don't remember. I thought it was 7.
Is it what, like before you enter G rank, like if you saw a player walk in with high rank Elatrion armor in this game, you knew they put in real work. Because for those of you who don't know, in this game, I think they eventually added an event quest towards the end, but like for the general like lifespan of this game, the only way to get high rank Elatrion armor was to fight him in the village, and you had to clear every quest, and that Elatrion did G rank damage. So if you saw someone like at the edge of high rank with full Elatrion high rank armor, you knew they really put in a lot of work to get it.
I mean, yeah, if you want to be elitist and start like mocking their like, oh, they probably failed 500 times to get that armor. It's like,
well, no,
like
I'd
you can
rather
insult
trust
them on that,
person.
sure, that's petty, but
I don't know.
the
I
real
don't know why.
real thing is they put in 500 hours to get that armor. Like they were dedicated, and that's
Yeah, they had to use high rank stuff to beat it. Like I did that in this game, and that Elatrion was not easy to beat. Just
But that's the thing. Like a
with
lot of the
high rank
times,
gear.
a lot of the times you can see the player's dedication to the game. Because, and I think that's a little lost to me in a lot of the newer Monster Hunter. I don't know why. Rise is the closest way we've got to like actually enjoying the game until
The end.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to interrupt for just a second for the video's sake. The reason we fought Stygian is because this was the game he debuted in, by the way. So
Did he?
for anyone
did he
who
even
is
appear anywhere else?
Iceborne.
That's true. I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
so for all the people who loved him in Iceborne, this was the OG game. Like, he was in a lot of the promotional stuff.
He really was.
Yeah. Anyway, back to our...
I don't know. For me, like to really wrap up this topic for me, I don't want to sound like those. I don't want to sound like one of the thousands of people who say, "Oh, old games are better," because in my opinion, Rise did pretty well. I don't know about Sunbreak. Sunbreak with that stupid, like, what is it? The what do they call it? Anomalies. Like that's a cool idea, but the grind was stupid. I've already done enough grind. I don't need that kind of grind.
Yeah, it was like 4U's guild quest was enough for me.
But even that was like infinitely better than this.
Well, yeah, because you didn't get one level at a time, even at the end. You usually still got like 2 or 3.
Oh, it's only at the very, very end. The last 10, I believe you only got one.
No, it was like the last like 3.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I know I dragged you in to finish like my 139 quest or something for Double Devil Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I put in. So it's not really a way to like distinguish it, but there's a level of hypocrisy if you ever look at my time card in World and Iceborne compared to all the other games I claim I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Because World, it probably has the most amount of hours that I have in the game. But I feel like a lot of those hours have been through resentment.
Of like forcing yourself to do certain things.
Yeah, just it's more like I'm here to prove that I know what I'm talking about because I've done all of the content. Except unfortunately, I got sick and tired of it, and so I said I didn't want to do any more of the content. And I believe, what is it? Was that the time when Generation came out?
You mean GU?
No, Gen, like on the
No,
3DS.
Gen came out way before World.
Did it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So did Double Cross.
Maybe, but I think like at some point, because I resented a lot of the arc tempered designs, and then Fatales came out, and I really didn't enjoy that. I just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just got a single clear on all of them except for arc tempered Valcana. I was just done with the mechanics of the game. I was just done with the claw shots, honestly the bow, the heavy bowgun changes, the over reliance on slingshots to get better combo, like better deals. It's just, it was way too much. It was way too much time invested just to learn those mechanics for something that I really didn't care about at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've mentioned this before, either in videos or your streams, but I mean, I quit base World really early on. Like after Behemoth came out, I think I was like, yeah, I'm done. I don't feel like playing anymore. And then you and Joseph had to drag me out of retirement to beat Extremeth.
But I mean, we did it,
And then and then Iceborne, like I genuinely enjoyed, you know, from like a standard sense, World and Iceborne from like point A to the end, you know, like quote unquote the end. So from like, oh, I fought from World, even though I hate Xeno'jiiva with a passion, I still, for the most part, enjoyed everything up to that. And it was the same with Iceborne. Like I enjoyed point A to, you know, like Beatodos to Char Ishwalda. And then anything afterward, I kind of just gave up on.
I think the engagement of the game itself is really nice. When the game decides to engage with you, but when the game decides not to engage with you at the end, with how much stuff you're forced to interact with, that's when I think I lost it. I just didn't care.
Also, I'm just gonna say real quick, we fought Laggy, so now it's time to pay respects to the other one, the OG. Oh, you even have his hunting horn.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, here's the Abyssal. I was like, are we really doing it with melee weapons?
No. We gotta show off the flagship. Don't forget hot drinks this time. As I say it out loud, I'm gonna forget hot drinks.
Right, because this is in the cooler area. I think probably the nicest part about World is at least seeing what the game could have, what it could have been when it was pulled out from this low poly game, like poly style.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after that, it was too much. I personally didn't feel. I think I know people will say first impressions are not the way to play a lot of Monster Hunter games, and this really applies to World. But my first impressions was amazing, then absolute annoyance. Ancient Forest is a bad map to introduce people into. Because it's way too... You're given way too much movement options and or mandatory movement options. When, I don't know, it detracts from the gameplay itself.
that he is.
I really like this guy.
I think most people do.
Again, another
like,
unique monster.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say like going to World or Iceborne with a positive note. I genuinely love Iceborne's rendition of this theme. Like, it's one of my favorites. The only problem is Iceborne's too quiet.
It is. It really is too quiet. So I have no opinions because again, I've never heard it.
No, like, yeah, I listened to it on YouTube later, and I'm like, they need to like crank this up like a lot. I should have brought the crown hammer. I didn't think of that.
You know what I should be doing is giving you hearing. But frankly, I can't remember songs. There are some quality of life changes I really like about World. I won't deny them that. Like having the songs right there. Oh, I'm dead. Come on. Somehow that hitbox didn't hit. But I think a lot of my biases with my resentment for this game, for that game, comes from the fact that they made me play that game way too much.
Like, I think and this applies to Rise too, by the way. This isn't just a World thing. Mm-hmm. I just don't like how, like, you could play how you wanted to play in the older games. Like, okay, I'll give Rise and Sunbreak one benefit. Like, they made Kushala a lot better.
No.
We don't talk about World's Kushala. I'd much rather fight any other Kushala than World's Kushala. But like when people tell me, oh, the game gives you like freedom, especially in World, to do whatever you want to do, I'm like, use a guard lance or a gun lance against anything, or please fight Kushala with a sword and shield.
Well, the thing is, like, nobody has a perspective on like how bad or good guard was, because most people just come into World with the idea of what guard should be like. So, like, for us to say, like, oh, you should know what exactly it should be like, it's like nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
But, like, how do I say it? It's depressing. When an older player comes in to play this game, when an older player comes into a newer system, they expect changes, but they don't expect nerfs immediately. And I think that's really it. It's not so much a game balancing nerf. I mean, it eventually becomes like that, but it's just when you play a game, you all the elements of whatever game you're playing should be very familiar.
Mm-hmm.
As like,
well, it's just, yeah, it's like as you know, say for you who likes Lance, or me who mains gun Lance, or Joseph who mains Lance, it's like it's slightly odd when you're so used to, you know, oh, I have guard up equipped, and I get hit by something and it goes right through my guard and damages me. And it's like, oh, maybe I just guarded that attack wrong, you know, something like that, right? And it keeps happening, and you're like, what's the point of guard up if I can't guard these attacks?
It kind of deceives you with what the skills could be. I think that's really it. It's
because like I'm willing to make like exceptions for, say, you know, Safe Jiva's nuke. You know, I'm willing to make exceptions for that. But it's like,
yeah,
But like the eating attacks or like Alatrion just like slamming his claws down on you from the sky, and it's like, oh, that just goes right through guard up. It's like, why?
Whereas in the previous games, it was expected that you can just guard through things.
Yeah, I think the only unguardable attacks that I can immediately think of was, I'm pretty sure you can't block Jen falling on you, right? Like if you're too far under him.
I don't know. I know he has a weird hitbox with that, so I only can say that.
Oops, sorry.
That's fine. Oh, fine. I was working on that. But like, Jen's Sonic, like his wind blast, like, sure, some things make sense, okay, or like at least it's not enough to interfere with you. Whereas guard boost, it's really odd to play a weapon where they don't make significant purpose for it. Like, okay, let's put it this way. Teostra's Heat Wave attack in the world. The fact that every single player, no matter what their weapon is, has to unsheath that weapon, and then, or it's the Lunestra wave I'm talking about, the Lunestra Heat Wave. Every player, no matter what weapon they have to unsheath it and either run away or put on the heat, like the fire resistant mantle to prevent the damage. And that makes sense. Like, that's fair for everybody. Is he actually going through?
Yeah, he just got slightly stuck by the other one. I think he should show up in a minute. There he is. Yeah, I think the other one actually punched him and flinched him.
But I think that's my point. It's everything makes sense. Like, that's an attack that everybody has to deal with. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, you can't. And the reason why I pull this up is, what's even wilder is when you are able to guard, when you're able to guard better with a katana than a fucking giant brick of wall in front of you, that makes it less appealing. Like, that makes a little sense to us, and it begins to bring the resentment. I'm really talking about the I-Auto Slash from Rise, as well as the evasion counter. The evasion counter on Longsword is wildly too strong. But I think that's really it. It's just, I've used Lance since 3 or try, and it makes me sad how bad that weapon has gotten over the years in terms of its general use of blocking. Like, you can counter enemies, and when I mean counter is the guard advance or guard points. Like, that's all okay. That's all nifty. But when you see something and you can just block it, that is not there. And it makes even less sense when World comes in with that, like, new heavy guard where you just sit down and burn your stamina. That does nothing. It really does nothing. I don't care what anybody says. That thing is absolute dog shit.
It would be nice if it, let you, with guard up, block attacks. Like, I'd be willing to concede as a gun lance, because, I'm supposed to be a little bit more offensive, quote unquote.
Like, but when you have guard maxed out guard boost, maxed out guard up, and you struggle, and then you do the sit down counter, and you struggle to survive an attack. That makes no sense to me. I'm not saying like turtling. I'm not encouraging turtling, but
well, again though,
cannot...
again going back to the new world, I'm just gonna cut in for a small second. There was nothing wrong with turtling in the old games.
Yeah,
you could do it, and the game let you. The game let you play the way you wanted to play. If you wanted to take 50 minutes to kill a single monster, you do you.
but that's the thing. Like, it's discouraged by the community. I get it. Like, in a 4-player co-op, you don't want to see just one person disengaged with the enemy. I get that.
It's kind of the same.
It should
with, like,
still be an option. Just like how people complain about booting people. Yeah, booting should be an option. So why can't turtling be it? Like, if you want booting people, like kicking people out of lobbies as an option, turtling should also be an option as well. Why do I discriminate against one option but promote another option?
I guess I should like slightly bring this up because I did think about this just now, where Bracky was kind of like, especially in this game, for those that don't know, they nerfed this in 4 Ultimate onwards. I think he was in 4 as well, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like they nerfed this about Bracky post 3 Ultimate, which was using a lance or a guard lance, like gun lance, against this guy was very scary.
Oh, right.
Because so a lot of people in the newer games would be more used to this. If you got slimed, or even with a sword and shield or a great sword, if you needed an emergency block, you could just block and you'd be fine. Even if you were covered in slime or the blast blight. In this game, you couldn't. If you had blast blight on and he hit you, that triggered a hit that would cause the blight to explode.
Yeah, you're always in detonation mode, no matter what.
Yeah, so like lancing and gun lancing, this guy was a scary concept because in an indirect way, he very much did not allow turtle lancing or gun lancing.
I mean, you could do it. You just had to never get hit.
Or like, you probably needed like evade extender, because I think even in the newer games, it still takes like 6 hops to get rid of it instead of the 3 rolls.
Yes, because hops were way nerfed. I don't have to request. Dang it. These things only last for like a minute and a half.
I don't know how I'm not getting screamed. I don't have Rocksteady. Is my Cha-Cha giving me some kind of hearing protection?
You don't have anything.
Oh no, this set does have high-grade earplugs. I just remembered that Halogen did come with it.
You bro.
My brain only remembered Halogen because it's like, oh, it's razor sharp and sharpness +1 together. I completely forgot they gave this set high-grade earplugs too.
What? No, they didn't. They gave you HP 50.
Oh no, I guess I gemmed it in then.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because I have it, and Laggy always stunned me. Oh, please. Bro, I forgot stamina items. But anyway. I will say this, though. Do I miss how the lance mechanics go in this game? No. I don't like the fact that you can't counter whenever you want. That's awful. It makes no sense. But I think I'd rather have that than not being able to block when I have full blocking capabilities, like running. Because again, the reason why I have so much resentment for the longsword is the fact that I don't understand why it has better blocking capabilities than a lance.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of how Rise, quote unquote, tried to fix it with a band-aid.
Oh, God.
Because they were like, oh, the longsword now also still takes like huge amounts of chip damage when countering. And I'm like, why did you nerf the longsword when you could have just buffed the lance?
It's like, why are, like, again, why are you punishing the player for trying to use the mechanics that you put in? Even worse, it's like, why do you hate the lance to the point that
You'd rather nerf the longsword than buff it.
like, yeah. Oh my god. Why not make Lance cool? Everybody rails on you for like again, this is to the Capcom team, which will never hear this. Let's face it.
Yeah, or the Monster Hunter team.
It's why do you design a weapon around an idea only to perpetuate the idea of never letting it be cool? Like, what's wrong with having a strong attack on the lance?
Or what's wrong with letting the lance block things?
Like, why not give a reward system for being hyper aggressive? And that was the whole point of the adept guard. And I get it.
Well, it's like even the adept guard, I think, takes chip damage for certain attacks.
But it's just more of like, they have the adept guard to reward aggressive play. But the worst thing about adept guard, and this is not talking about Rise anymore. This is talking about Generations Ultimate and Generations.
Oh, Gen. Yeah, I don't think they took chip damage.
But the thing is, you had an instant counter system that blew away your defenses. So that was the trade-off. You had a better counter with a better counter attack motion value to reward those who are aggressive. That's cool. In return, they nerfed the general guarding of that game, of that style. And I get it. It makes sense. But Lance doesn't have anything else. Like you put on Enraged Guard and then cool. Corkscrew Jab was shit. So like you only had like Enraged Guard and then 2 evasions because like what else did you put on? Like nothing that the team does ever makes Lance cool.
I mean, technically, like, if we're counting generations, though, like base generations. Because, I mean, that is one of the most overpowered lances in.
That's the most overpowered Lance has ever been. I will agree with that, but
and the whole point was because it could guard, it could do offense, it could do it all. It had mobility.
But again, it's just like we have to wait for that. Oh my god. I put on the wrong song. But it's just, I don't know. They give you a cool pose in Rise where you put away your shield onto, like, you sheathe your shield, put it on your back, and then you dual wield that lance, like double hand that lance for like a forward thrust. It's like, that's cool.
Oh yeah, for the pose.
Yeah, why don't we have that? Instead, you gave us exactly what an Insect Glaive does, except in a sense, worse. Worse because you override anchor rage. Do we see ourselves? No, we don't. You force us to change out of anchor rage to use this thing. It's like, that's nice and all. And I understand you want to make use of it, but at the same time, why? I will put it
Anyway.
this way though. At least we're with World. The nerf on heavy bowgun is justified. The way they did it, I don't like it. Because the way I think so the thing I really like about World, the way they introduced it, is spread is useful. Spread is very, very useful. But the thing I don't like about it, spread was way too useful. Oh my god, it outshined all the other bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they made guard heavy bowgun way useful. Whereas in this game, it was impossible to get guard on your heavy bowgun. Or, like, you could put a shield, but, like, you couldn't get guard easily on it. So, like, it made it useless.
And pellet was really only useful against one monster. For some reason.
You could try and make it work for other monsters, but at the end of the day, it's terrible.
Yeah, for some reason, Zenogre just had the weird magnetism thingy.
I think in Freedom Unite, you could pellet Diablos' tail, yeah?
Yes.
But, like, again, I still don't like the fact that normal shot is... I like that normal 3... No, I don't know. I don't know if I like normal 3 being a better normal 2. Because it kind of got rid of the uniqueness of the fact that normal 3 could multi-hit because it ricocheted.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in terms of programming, it's easier to deal with. But it does kind of get rid of the... If normal 3 exists, and it's super easy to combine for, what is the point of normal 2? That's how I feel about that entire system. Because at least in older games, normal 2 and normal 3 have their unique functions. Normal 2, if you want a single hit. Normal 3, if you want ricocheted hits or chance for it. So, like, you were gambling. So you had the options. And then with Pierce 1, 2, and 3, you had different motion values for the number of hits you did. That's cool. But in Pierce, with newer, how do I say it? In Rise or World Onward, there was literally no reason for you to ever use Pierce 1s. Because you hit, like, I believe 7 times. It was Pierce 1 was 7 times. Pierce 2 was it 8 and 9? But they all had, like, increasing motion values or something like that. So there was no reason to ever go down to Pierce 1. Whereas in this game, in older games, there were reasons to use different Pierce. Because motion values were decreased. The overall total motion value that you got of each Pierce going up did go up. But the individual tick of each Pierce hit actually went down. Because Pierce 1 was 3 hits, 3 ticks of 10, so that got you a total of 30. I believe Pierce 2 give you 4 with a motion value of 8. Is it? No, it might be 9 to give you a motion value of 36, and then Pierce 5 or Pierce 3 gave you 5 hits of 8 that gave you a motion value of 40. So, like, depending on what monster you were hunting, there was a use for each one of them. Whereas I think in the motion value for newer games, they just increased. So there was never a reason to go down. Same with, but I guess in spread in this game and spread in newer games is all the same. You just go for the higher bullets because you just want to hit more. So I don't know. I'm okay with heavy bow guns being nerfed. What I'm not okay is the bullets being out of whack. And that fat roll. I hate the fat roll. I don't care what anybody says. The fat roll is stupid. It was bad. And why are we doing this one?
Hmm. What?
Why are we doing this one?
Why not?
I don't know.
I mean, I think they did technically make a quest for this guy afterward, but this was most people's first interaction with him.
Oh, you want to do it that way? Okay. The reason why I was confused is like, why him specifically? But you actually wanna go make.
Yeah, I think this was like people are like, what's wrong with it? Why is this Kurapeka quest an event quest? Oh god.
This was the quest. I have no intentions of using this bow exactly as designed, but I will use it for the sake of people using it.
Yeah, I haven't used it. I'm assuming you're talking about the Kelpie bow.
Yes, sir.
You got better damage using it by charging the damn thing than just spamming it. I need to use it once though for one of these quests. But this will probably be the last one for this session.
Makes sense.
We'll end it big.
Do I need cool
He
drinks?
has it. Desert during the day, so cool drinks. I already gotta grab them, I guess. Yeah.
Sure.
This guy was also a big selling point in the trailers for the game.
Was he? I don't remember it.
Huh?
Was he?
Yeah,
don't
remember. I
remember.
think he was at it was the Stygian trailer, and then at the very end, they just had the like horrid cut in of him just eating.
Oh
But
right.
they never
Yeah.
fully
Okay.
showed him.
I will say, aside from the fact that I'm bad at using bow, I do like the fact that at least with old bow, I don't feel pressured to just break my controller.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's kind of the whole point, is you're using a ranged greatsword. And
miss
again, we
this
also
guy.
get to show off what Kurapeka does.
I mean, we
like,
technically
actually.
did.
Well, no, like, we never got to show it off because we did the double in the arena.
That's true.
And why people want Kurapeka to come back.
Again, I think it's just the fact that this game is the older at least with Try. I don't know too much about the other ones, but all the monsters were iconically unique. You had a flamingo, or like it's like not flamingo, a peacock, like a duck peacock. Which is this guy. And then you had Great Jaggy, which was, he was so boring that he was iconic. Because it's just a dinosaur.
I mean, like, talking about one monster who hasn't returned since their game. Freedom Unite had
Oh.
a turkey that put you to sleep.
We should probably let him do his thing.
Is that it? He might have to do it twice, yeah, because his beak
Yeah.
is broken.
Because I accidentally broke the beak. That's why I let it happen. Oh, did you just summon the Rhinopolis instead? Oh, hey, no, never mind. Oh, it's
So yeah,
this
this is
dude.
also this guy's first appearance for those who have played Iceborne.
So why Savage?
Why not?
That's true.
How high Chronopolos.
I forget if Iceborne had a mechanic with this dude where his face took no elemental damage. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
remember.
when it was like when he was enraged.
By the way, I forgot to.
No berries.
Yep. That's okay.
This was, I think, also the first game that
Oh,
made Dragon
God!
Blight absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they did it in Portable Third. It might have been Portable Third. I could be wrong.
Well, in what is it? I don't know. Like I don't really know which one's worse. Tries the element blight. Dragon Blight was awful too. I forget if it's like 30%. Oh jeez.
You lost a bunch of affinity.
Yes, you just had negative crit. Oh, am I cool? I'm not cool. But at least it didn't. Yeah, I don't know if negative 30 affinity is worse than losing your elemental. Because losing your elemental didn't affect elementless weapons, whereas negative 30 always affects every weapon out there.
Nah, I think losing your element was much worse.
Was it?
Yeah, generally speaking. I think it was mostly because players didn't know about it, so you had... Like, I remember the 3 Ultimate days of people fighting Stygian and then getting Dragon Blight with all of their thunder weapons and then doing no damage.
I guess it catches you off guard. Whereas 30% is, I guess, a chance of doing lower damage, but you're at least doing damage.
And you still have the elemental modifier, which I don't know if it was affected by negative affinity. I also don't have dung bombs, so
That's okay.
may God have mercy on your soul if he eats you.
I mean, that's the whole point, right? Yo, I'm so used to a heavy bowgun reticle that the bow feels super weird.
It feels way too janky for me.
I mean, try the heavy bowgun. It's janky as well. That's why I'm trying to like freeform the throws. I hit your leg. I hit your back, dude. How did I trip you, bro?
Maybe because of the slime explosion.
Yes.
Yes, the guy where you bounced off his stomach if you didn't have purple.
Well, also when he's not in rage.
Oh yes, the defense down. I forgot about that.
Yep, from this slide. Oh wait, no, this was when his face was weak, his stomach was not. And then it was his stomach when he's. Oh, this guy was wildly different. Can I be cool? Yes, I can. Just for a bit. You know,
Yeah,
I
he
still
didn't-
never understood how you were able to dodge, like, Devil Joe's breath in World.
It
Without
was
evasion.
it was very janky.
Because it was so slow moving, I didn't know what to do with it. Whereas this one, like, it's just a sweep beam. Like, you know what to do. And there it comes. What? I say that and I got hit.
Yeah. I mean, it was funnily enough like Devil Joe and Narga. Like, if you didn't know how to evade attacks, you learned very quickly how to evade attacks.
You either learned it or you died doing it. I used to be good at this game. I'm so old. Like 11 years old. They're This was 11 years ago, right?
I think it was maybe even a little bit more than that.
You know, I was sure brought Switch Axe. Oh, Bo feels bad. I'm like slightly clawing the controls. It feels so bad. That's I'll give Rise or World and Rise that thing, the modern controls. Cause using the left trigger to aim, super nice.
Oh, hi, Kurofeko. I didn't bring paintballs, so we're gonna have fun finding him later.
Even better is if he summons another monster.
I don't know if he can.
He can. I'm pretty sure he can.
I think the first one has to die at least.
Well, yeah.
Just summons another savage.
I mean, at that point, we might as well just do Rage Match or whatever it's called.
Or World Eater.
I think that's also a thing I miss. Giant ass monsters for shits and giggles. I mean, there was that.
The ludicrously small ones.
Yes. I mean,
I guess Sunbreak did have a few of those.
Rise had one. The giant moss swine.
I thought it was World, wasn't it? Like the like 5 giant moss swine in the arena that like murdered you in one hit.
Yes, they had ridiculous. I like those because they're for the sake of being goofy.
Supplies.
You know, I talked a lot about what my thoughts of why monsters are iconic. Why would you say Legicrus was iconic?
I kind of give Laggy and to some extent Nergy the same reason, which is it's your first Monster Hunter games, like first flagship, like your first flagship you fought. So it just kind of sticks in your mind that they're a big deal.
That's true.
But again, I also just do like Laggy's design a lot.
I love his screams were also cool too. I love
the Jaggy. Yeah.
That's fine. Look at that.
Did he just call in a bunch of Jaggy?
Yeah, he called it Jagia.
A single Jagia.
I mean, if we want to make fun, not make fun, but like make use of the Korean version, the Jaggy Nosu.
The Jaggy Nose.
I like, this is how much I was a Monster Hunter fan. I literally played Monster Hunter in Korean. Monster Hunter 4.
Yeah, you played 4 in Korean.
Yep.
Well, some scrubs had to wait for 4 Ultimate.
What a loser. If they only could just learn another language or play it without understanding the language.
Well, the 3DS was region locked.
Yeah, I know, but still. You could buy it.
I'd have to buy a Japanese 3DS.
Well, what's wrong with that? If you bought a Korean one, we could be playing together. Or we could have. Oh, shit. At least that lunge does not have the eat effect. Ugh.
Not yet. Bum bum bum.
God, that was the worst.
Yeah, one thing I'll say though that I do love about World Devil Joe and World Savage is how they use other monsters as weapons.
Oh, okay.
It's so funny to watch Devil Joe run around with friggin' Odogaron like screaming like let me go, and he's like no. Slam, slam.
I think that's what World should have leaned on more, is monsters being unique. Like, I don't really care about the hunters being cool and all. Make the monsters funnier. Or, like, much more interesting.
Because I think he could he do that? No, he couldn't do that to the elders.
That would have been funny. Kushala in his mouth. Just nothing but wind blast everywhere, but you don't care.
I mean, I feel like Savage should have been able to if, like, the elders were weak enough.
Oh, hey, man. I know he was swinging, but I didn't realize he was throwing towards us.
Like that one video of Devil Joe with Odogaron that like he kept Odogaron in his mouth for like a solid 2 minutes, and they just edited a squeaky toy effect every time Devil Joe
I know.
slammed him. That shit was amazing.
I will say this though, I don't like Devil Joe's new theme.
I don't even know what it is.
That's the point. I can't hear it.
No, don't move. Damn it, Devil Joe.
Oh, well.
Okay, I kinda... As much as there was strategy involved in putting down traps in this game, I kind of will admit I miss being lazy and just dropping down a trap and it just... Beep.
Yeah. I will agree with that. It's just nice to just have it done and over with. But that's because like everything was faster too. Oop. Like all the monsters were faster, all your weapons were faster, so like they kind of expected
Dang it.
You posted this quest, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am getting a bit of lag as well, if you're wondering.
Because
Just a
I didn't
tiny
even
bit.
hit the legs at all on my screen. You know what I think I miss most about a lot of the older Monster Hunter games?
Hmm.
Being able to learn it. Like, being able to practice these monsters. Like, it's so hard to actually practice against, like, some of the newer monsters just because of how hyper they are.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure, like, all the people who like speedrun or, you know, are generally more proficient at games than us. Like, I'm sure most of that is something that you just, you'll eventually have the patience and the grind enough to do it, but that does exclude all the people who may not have the reaction time or the endurance to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So while I do like the overall changes that you can do as a hunter, I just don't like the pace of the fights being so quick. Which is why you don't like Dark Souls 3. I have to pull it out there.
Yeah, Dark Souls 3 is trash.
I bought you Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sins. We have to.
Yeah,
you
we'll
have to
play it
test
eventually, even if I hate it.
You have. I will say this.
I want to get, what is it? All I know is that the DLC has like one of the most annoying boss fights where it's like 2 ice tigers or something.
I'll be honest. I haven't. I know nothing about that game.
That's all I really know. Is that the DLC has like a really annoying, like controversially annoying fight with like 2 ice wolves or something, lions.
Oh my allergies. So I feel, in my opinion, when I think about like, that's another change I like about newer Monster Hunter. Flash bombs not being so awful.
Yeah, ridiculously like bright.
I don't understand why that was a mechanic that they put in.
I mean, I guess again for like the sake of realism. Like you knew you were gonna throw something bright, so you kind of had to plan around it.
I guess that makes sense, but at the same time,
A photosensitivity warning, please.
beep beep beep. Is it bad that I forgot stamina stuff again?
Yes. At least
Oh.
you don't have to, you know, have cold drinks though.
But yeah, that's. I feel like you'll like Dark Souls 3 a little bit more after Dark Souls 2,
Oh, my phone's buzzing.
because I don't like the fact that adaptability is a stat that you have to care about.
Yeah, I hope my phone's gonna buzz a lot. I turn it
Beep beep
off.
beep.
It's gonna be loud.
That's an edit.
Nah, I'll just be in.
Here he comes.
Yeah, I think I was gonna ask. Well, I'll ask it in the next recording session because there's a few monsters we won't have time to fight that we'll have to fight later. But maybe to think about is like what makes a final boss a memorable one, like quote unquote. Like we talked about flagships, but then it's like, well, what makes like Mantis so memorable versus so many of the other fights, or why is friggin' I even said his name earlier and I can't remember it now.
Dogmazius?
Mr. No, Rap.
Oh, Shara Ishvalda?
Yeah, Shara Ishvalda. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, you need to watch Terminal Montage's video on Monster Hunter. I would put a clip in, but he explicitly states to not use his videos elsewhere, so I want to respect that.
Especially when, you know, again, you should give the guy. No. No.
Yeah, if I remember, hopefully post edit me will remember. I'll link that video in the description. I'll link a couple of the Monster Hunter videos in the description. That's like one of the only reasons friggin' Kuluyaku is memorable to me. Bird up.
Yeah, bird up. Ding ding ding. Where are you going?
But yeah, like what makes a good final boss a good final boss?
So
Like another question to think on is like why is Fatalis so like loved?
that's a question I'll never know because I hate him.
I mean, I do genuinely like him to some degree. Oh wait, where is he at?
The inner caves, bro. So
Wait.
did you go through the Jaggy area?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Go down and to the right.
Yeah, I'm here. My brain had a different idea. You want me to try cut off the tail?
No.
Well, I've been hitting it a couple
I
times.
mean, go for it then.
I mean, I hope I've gotten enough damage off on it. Nope.
I mean,
Oh well.
stat 4?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think you do have to capture him to get his unique item, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure in this game you actually did have to capture him.
I don't have capture materials.
Oh, he dies then. Dang it. I don't have Trauma Res. I thought I had Trauma Res on this set.
Oh, well.
Oh yeah, we still have done Kurapeko.
Yep. So, we're talking about final bosses. Are we talking about
Like-
final bosses or like the final bosses of each game, regardless of what gen, like what? it is?
Well,
'Cause-
for World and Iceborne, we will allow like basically quote unquote all of them. So like how I don't think World technically had another final boss. I know they added Kloof Taroth afterward, but they didn't really add her as a final boss. She was more of like a raid thing. So, but like for Iceborne, we'll count both Shara Ishvalda and Zafe as
or
final bosses.
Safe. Okay.
And then
But
for Rise we'll count both like all we'll count like All Mother, but also we'll count like Guys Magorm and Primal as or Primordial.
so are we talking about like the final bosses, or are we also going to include like I don't know Xeno'jiiva because that's kind of
Yeah,
like the
because
final boss?
Xeno'jiiva is the final boss of World, or we're still counting like Sideus and who was like a Cantor is technically the final boss of Freedom, but then Eucanlos was Freedom Unite.
And then Alatreon was online try.
Try, but then
Offline try.
Dire Morales was 3 Ultimate, and then Amatsu was Portable Third.
Okay. Yo, he
Fatalis
just
was
left. This way, whatever that. He's where you are.
no. Yeah, Fatalis would can't technically count for like 1. I guess if we want to be like really specific, Diablos would count as well because he was technically like the final boss of the original offline mode.
Well,
But more like those final fights.
okay. Well, we'll
We'll talk about that when we do the next video of like fighting, because we'll fight Dire Morales in that one,
Gotcha.
and we might even fight Alatreon. We'll see.
Are you really?
I said might, because I do want to show off. The next one would probably be a lot of the slightly harder endgame fights. So, like, I'd like to show off at least regular gen, if not Hallowed, and like Lucent and Abyssal.
What you're saying is, I really do need the Grungagas.
Or at least a hammer.
That's the worst part about Alatreon. Until Rise happened, I did not fight, or World happened, I didn't fight Alatreon with any other weapon except for hammer.
I occasionally use like a greatsword, but that was like rarely. Or the dumb times I used like Heroic's bow. But like outside of that, I always hammered the guy.
I just learned it, especially when that was like not the most optimal way, but it was the most achievable way of getting your horns broken.
Mm-hmm.
Was he not here?
He was, but I think he was just flying over it.
Because I heard the music change.
Was there like a cave at the end of one of these? Or does he sleep where Devil Joe sleeps?
Does he have to sleep?
I don't know.
By the way, Starving Wolf activated.
Starving Wolf?
It's just the frontier thing. By the way, he's here. He's pissed.
Oh.
He's where Savage was sleeping. But it just means that I have 1 bar of stamina.
Hmm. Yeah, this was also a really unique quest because it's like you had a weird event quest that the main target wasn't actually your main target, and like the actual main target was summoned by the main target, and it was like their first time showing up in the game unless you got really, really lucky outside of it.
Yeah, that's true. Because there was no way of getting a dedicated quest for Savage.
Yeah, it was just like very rarely Kurapeko would call him normally, but it's rare.
Only when what is it? Only until they start adding the event quest for him could you actually do something about it.
Dang it, I tried. Nope.
I had a Melink steal one of my flash bombs.
So close. Also, I don't know what it is, but I love Kurapeka's little like flint thing where it's like he does it twice, where it's like tink tink, and then he does it, and then like one more.
Again, I feel like it's just the fact that you get personality from these monsters.
I don't miss them moving around this much, though.
I don't remember too much about like World because again, suppressed memories. But was there ever a time when like I don't feel like I remember a lot of the monsters' personality when you were actually fighting them.
Thought he would fly up here. He did not.
He's not there.
Mm-mm.
Oh, wait.
No, he's in 3.
I have a guess. Oh, where is that?
Dude. It's like the skinny connecting area where I think.
Well, it doesn't help that I have no stamina. I wonder if that's a thing I should either miss or not. Not being able to warp back to base.
Yeah, it's like a weird double-edged thing of like, I miss like, oh, you didn't prepare, so now you suffer for it. But also, it's like, it is nice to, I don't know, maybe have like a backup supply thing.
It's wild because I don't know, like it's for a lot of, at least for both of us who are older gamers and we are like traditionalists, I guess. It's wild how much we struggle with our cognitive dissonance in terms of whether the like being able to teleport or go to your box is a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I've always said like, personally, I don't like the just having your whole box on access. But
Yeah.
I've never been against the idea of having like, oh, you can have a temporary stock deployed with you of like a few items, you know, like a handful of necessities in case you forget them.
30 minutes because I forgot stamina.
And also Devil Joe takes a while.
I really didn't want to fight him with a bow. I was like, wait, what the heck? No, did he actually go to the cave again? Go back.
I think so.
Go back.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yep, there he is. Oh my god, he's summoning the Mielniks.
I think that's another mechanic that really doesn't exist. A monster that actually calls, like, the whole purpose is to call others.
Yeah.
Hazelgeese is in terms of it,
like
is
the
not.
like the reverse. Like
Yeah.
he hears stuff going on. He's like, I gotta be obnoxious and see what's going on. Please die, Kurapeka. I'm slowly getting tired. Dang it, I missed.
Here, I'll do it.
this shitty way.
God.
I mean, you kind of have to play that way now because you have no stamina.
No, I went to a supply box.
Ah. Either he dies or I die. I'm gonna die.
I mean, that's basically the same.
Yep. Nope.
Oh,
I would have died there, most likely. If not been at like 1 HP or something.
You would have flopped. That's funny. So I don't know. For me, Rise is fun. World could have been fun, but just too much. There was just too much going on, and I think it was a really bad first impression.
Yeah.
Them removing modding, or at least going after modding, is kind of.
Well, again, they've really only, as far as I'm aware, implemented that into Rise. I think they're too afraid to touch World right now. Because World is currently like the highest played game at the time of this recording. So
that's wild to me. I don't get it, but sure.
You'll see it. This is a weird end screen of like me almost dying, but Kurapeka's face is like glitching through his beak.
I will say, if I could actually see the end screen, yeah, that's wild. I'll send you this screen pic. This is kind of. How do I say
I'll just send it.
The slime doesn't look like slime. I'll say that.
There we go. Hold on, let me see. It's just all red.
It's like, the slime doesn't look like slime there. Oh, that's one hell of a picture.
Oh, man.
But I will end the stream here, because
Yep.
I don't have anything to say. And we'll save it for next time.
Yeah, when we go after the big boys.
Sounds good.